Welcome back to Voice of the Founding Fathers, and I'm your host, Dr. D. Lee Pippin. And today, we're going to continue a conversation that we sort of started before when we talked about Roe versus Wade and the Supreme Court making changes that are going backwards. Well, one of those changes that many of us are afraid of and more concerned about is, are they also going to reverse gay marriage and gay rights? Because once again, this is a subject that seems to be big with conservatives and big with some church individuals. So I'm going to point out that all of you that have heard that the Bible is against it haven't read your New Testament. Because in the New Testament, there is a story with Christ where he goes into a home and actually heals a gay man who is involved with another man. Now, you're going to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you, go to the Bible and read about where Christ was walking through the streets and the Roman soldier was standing up away from the crowd. And Christ called to him. And the soldier said, "I'm not worthy, but my servant is dying. And I know I'm not one of your followers, but I hoped you might be able to heal him." And Christ went to the home with the man. He healed the servant and sat and had dinner with them and told the man that he was more exemplary of what he's teaching than many that follow him. I know you know that story. That story is very famous. Many churches have shared that story. The part they don't share with you is the Greek word used for servant, that they've just translated simply as servant. But in Greece, there were 9 different words for servants depending on how they served. And the particular word used for this Roman soldier servant meant a servant that is a lover to his master. A younger lover to his master. So Christ knew what this servant was. Christ knew the relationship. And Christ still healed him. Because if you go on the religious teachings, it says, love everyone. It is not your right to judge. So I'm going to say to the conservatives, stop judging. I'm going to say to the courts, stay out of things that belong to God. If God doesn't approve, God will handle it. It is not man's choice. And it is not man's choice to convert and change people. And furthermore, if God didn't want gays in this world, then he wouldn't have put a homosexual activity in every living creature that there is. There's not a single creature in all of God's kingdom that does not have some homosexuality in it. It may be part of the preservation of the species. It may be in order to create certain things. None of us know God's plan. And all of us need to stop telling everyone else what God's plan is. Stop judging. It's not your right. You can show by example what you think should be right, but don't tell me or anyone else what's right for me and what God supposedly says, because you're not God. You're not. So, gay marriage, I don't see anything in that God would not approve. Love for another human being where you want to commit your life to them is something God would approve. And when it comes down to it, same thing with gay rights. Why should someone be treated less? Why should someone go without benefits? Why should someone spend their whole life together and suddenly, when one of them dies, everything they worked for disappears to either a family person that wasn't part of their life, or it just doesn't exist, like Social Security? Because before gay marriage was allowed, gay couples lost all benefits for the other spouse when the spouse died. They could have their property taken. They could be thrown on the streets because they supposedly had no rights. This is not the way of this country. This is not the way of our people. This is not what God intended. And people have spoken out and spoken out and spoken out, saying they believe there should be the rights. But they're being drowned out by a few very insignificant voices that think they need to tell everyone how to live their life. Well, you don't have the right to do that. And I'll tell you that myself. You don't. Live your own lives. Learn to love yourselves. Because it must be that you are so filled with self-hatred that you want to spread that instead of love, instead of acceptance. And you've destroyed many families. You've destroyed many people. And it's time we stop the hatred. Stop trying to go backwards. Stop trying to make us into something that we are not supposed to be. Humans are meant to evolve. Humans are meant to explore new realms and grow and prosper. And that doesn't come from subjugating others to hatred, ridicule, and violence. Again, hit the subscribe button, notifications, and a like. And hopefully this message means something to someone. Good day.